What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ, the Internet Warlord. This is Coffee and the Conversation.
Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation hosted by CJ Abernathy for South Dakota District 23 Senate 2020. A father, an activist, a Marine Corps combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, Purple Heart recipient with a bachelor's degree in Information Technology Software Engineering. CJ is the executive producer for the Adam vs. the Man podcast with Adam Kokesh, and the CEO of Internet Warlords, the War for the Internet, as well as a former 2018 South Dakota Libertarian gubernatorial candidate, and a 2020 South Dakota delegate to the Libertarian National Convention. If you would like to join this broadcast, click the link in the description. Coffee and a Conversation starts now. Have a great day, or don't. The choice is always yours.
I just need coffee. That's really all I need. I really just need some coffee. Maybe that'll help me this morning. Just need some coffee. What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ, the Internet Warlord, coming to you live and loud from the great state of Meth Dakota. You know Meth Dakota. It's the state just south of North Dakota, the state north of Nebraska. That Dakota. The state formerly known as South Dakota until the Queen of Meth, Governor Kristi Noem, declared by proclamation that, hey, we're on meth. I've never tried it. But, you know, since the governor said we're all on it, I feel like maybe it's more socially acceptable to try it now. So if anybody's got any meth, reach out. It's a joke. It's a joke. It was a joke. God, we can't joke on Mondays. Has to be all serious, CJ. God damn it, you're a news journalist. You're supposed to have integrity. I don't know what to tell you, folks. So, if you want to join this broadcast, there is a link in the description that says, to join this broadcast, click this link. It is there. You'll be brought backstage. I will see you. And if you're not a complete and total douche, I'll give you the awesome intro that you deserve. But, as always, it's Monday. Decent weekend. Put in a little work, obviously, on Saturday, and I don't know if there's ever a day I don't get to work on something. Now, if only it paid the way that you would hope busting your ass does, but that's what you call building a small business. That's what you call working towards a goal and a dream and trying to become successful at it. It takes work. It doesn't just happen overnight, and it takes a lot of hours. And you don't just get to become a producer and start making buco bucks. Although I'm more than worth the buco bucks. I'm probably worth more than most people are at this producing thing because I have what's called work ethic and drive, and passion to be the best. And hey, I'll get there someday. I'll get there someday for sure. So it is one of those lovely days though where, you just try to get through the day. What up, Matt? I see you there. You coming on today, sir? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt, what are you doing today, sir?
I got the day off work. I figured I'd bring you some live hurricane coverage from South Carolina.
Oh, shit, man. That's right. You got a Hurricane 1 coming?
Maybe. They've already declared state of emergency at some places in North Carolina and stuff, started evacuating people, and it's like, yeah, we might have 50-mile-an-hour winds or something. So kind of wonder why they are shutting down all the beach houses that have been struggling to make them live in this summer. But
you'd think that you guys would be used to, hurricanes, and living on the coast like that. You'd think at this point.
Well, it's unusual that this week of a storm is causing such a fuss already.
Are you really surprised though? Honestly, Matt.
Not this year, no, man.
Does anything in 2020 surprise you? Is there anything you're like, oh, well, shit, that surprises me now?
It's a sad, sad year.
Yeah, and you got this has to be a rare Monday off for you.
Well, I had 2 guys out last week, so I busted my ass and put a lot of money in the bank. And my boss is going on vacation next week. He hopes if North Carolina's open. So I've taken a couple days off this week to rest up.
You would hope that a hard day's work earns you a day off at some point, you know. Yeah. So I mean, hey, honestly though, I've only been in one like hurricane-like weather, and that was during engineer school back in 2006. And man, I'll tell you what, it was like you walk outside and like a wall of water. It's like you walk into a wall of water, and every inch of your being is covered with water. Yeah. So I don't know. I've never been in one though. I've never been in anything crazy. Just like the residuals. And I tell you, that was enough for me to go, no, I'll go live in Tornado Alley. That's less likely to have issues.
Well, I'm right outside of Charlotte, so like I'm 2.5, 3 hours from the coast. So normally our thunderstorms are way worse than the hurricanes as far as what I experience locally. We'll get rain and flooding, but normally the wind that comes from the thunderstorms is worse than the hurricanes.
Oh man, how did you get in, Matt? Because it's saying that I'm being told there's no link in the description.
There was a link on YouTube.
Oh, it was on YouTube? Well, why is Mercedes telling me there's no link? That's just weird. There's a link on my Facebook there. Oh, she's watching on my personal page. I missed one. Okay, well now it's there, Mercedes. Sorry there, Matt. So yeah, no, I like I said, man, I think that there's nothing in 2020 that surprises me when it comes to weather, government, but I could real quick, within a couple minutes, and maybe I'll get your take on this one. When we say the U.S. government controls the weather, and they admit it, does it make you kind of wonder if they're controlling making hurricanes? I don't know if
I go that deep into it. Yeah, no? I'm not really like a chemtrail. I'm not really. I don't really subscribe to all that. But
even if I presented you evidence of the government's own documents saying they control and modify the weather from .gov websites. This is the Commission on Weather Modification. It's on a .gov website. You can pull it up just by searching "government admits weather modification." and it's a long one, but it tells you the aspects of weather modification, statistics, progress in weather and climate modifications. The human effects of weather modification. Legal and legislative modification. Like you start going into it and you're
yeah, I can see, like, I can relate a little bit. There's a nuclear station not far from us, and I swear to God, the thunderstorms hit that nuclear station and split. And I don't know if it's the steam output of it or whatever. So, on a small scale thing, but I don't think there's some guy sitting there with a keyboard that says hurricane, tornado.
I don't know, man. Here's the CIA's own website, and they're talking about international aspects of weather modification, China using weather modification. So, you start going at some point, man, these guys are modifying the weather to one extent or another. So,
I've got other shit to waste my brain space on, I guess. Yeah.
Not me, man. I got this useless junk brain that it's like Google CIA weather modification. It's there, man. I guess.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to.
Yeah, but then it makes you wonder, like hurricanes. Like, do they really do they really modify hurricanes and do all this stuff? You'd think that they would use their power to dissipate these storms that are going to cause billions of dollars in damage and displace people, but no, they're like, let's just amp these things up. I'm telling you, man, I've drove out in the middle of the corn.
Write us a check for more money when it's over.
No. Write them a check to their donors.
Well, yeah,
for it.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
Matt, I've been out in the middle of the cornfield in nowhere, South Dakota, and I've watched a few planes just crisscross and intersect, and in that X, a thunderstorm appears out of nowhere, like just within an hour or two. Where it's thunderstorms, and I mean we're rained out the rest of the day, and I watched it. I watched the planes cross and intersect. And then I watch them just keep going. They might go past my eyesight. And the next thing you know, you look up and you're like, oh, that big X they made is now a huge cumulonimbus cloud. And you're like, well, that just it's just coincidence, I guess. I mean, it's just you're bringing me weather news. You're bringing me weather news within the scope of the conversation.
Yeah.
So when's this hurricane supposed to make landfall, Matt?
I think later on today, somewhere around Myrtle Beach is what they're saying. But I was like, last time I checked the radar, it didn't look very strong. And I think we were supposed to start getting rain about 11. But there's patchy sun and clouds right now, no wind. So
how do you even say this name, Hurricane?
Easius, I think is what I heard. I'm not sure. Yeah.
That's weird. Let's see. 57 minutes ago is the most predictable. There's the most recent one. So the storm is expected to hit. It looks like. This is from the. Which website is this from? South Carolina and North Carolina is like right at the border.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to go up the coast
right in between Myrtle Beach and Wilmington, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's gonna hit pretty good. Well, have fun with that, man. Stay safe.
Hey, I know we were talking last week, man. I had to clean my damn gutters myself. I couldn't get anybody out here to do it. So thankfully I didn't die. I'm still alive. It sucked, but
well, you know what? You also saved the money. Now you can buy other things with it, and when the hurricane comes, your gutters will work.
Yeah. So
awesome, man. Well, I'm glad to see you, Matt. And what do you think about the launch today for not doing live stream for Adam versus the Man?
Yeah, so I meant to ask you last week, how is that going to work exactly, or like, would I go to the website? Because do we have passwords yet? I thought you said you were putting a paywall up on it. Or something.
Yeah, I haven't got to it on WordPress yet, but right now, it's just Patreon only, and then when I can get the paywall put up, then or at least lock the live screen for now until we can get that. But it'll be Patreon only. We've got some great guests coming up: Ben Swans, Roger Stone, Spike Cohen, like. Some stuff people might want to see. So, but yeah, good luck with this hurricane, man. I'm looking at this and going, all right, so you're kind of like right up in this area. Or are you in the south area?
I'm like right on the border of North Carolina, right in the middle of South Carolina.
Oh,
go up a little bit. Go up to the next map. Yeah, like if you go straight up from like the M or the B in Columbia, that's where I am, right there at that little corner.
Okay. Right in here?
Up, right on the border.
Okay, right up in here.
Right in there. Yeah, I'm right in there.
So, yeah, you'll get some of the residuals, but you're not going to take the brunt of it.
Right. Yeah, we'll just get some wind and rain.
Yeah. Yeah, for a hurricane.
Which is the last. Yeah, I mean, we've got more rain this summer than fucking we could use.
Yeah, no, we could use some down here in South Dakota. Use some down here. But all right, Matt. Well, I got another guest backstage here. I'm going to grab
two. Yeah, man.
Here and but I appreciate you coming on this morning, and hope you have a good day off, and you'll probably get to catch the show live too. So, awesome. All right, Matt. Well, I'll talk to you later, sir, and you have a good day.
You too, man.
All right, everybody. Matt, thanks for joining again. All right. Well, she said she was going to be working from home today, and that means it is Mental Health Monday. And as you can clearly tell, I'm in some need of some mental health today as well. I've got a lot of stories to cover here today that I want to get to. Some hypocrisies and why Trump is fucked. And, I had my donut ready for good cop, bad cop today. So, I don't know. Either way, we'll see what's up. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, she is running for the great state of Nebraska's Senate seat in District
37.
District 37. Good morning, Mercedes. How are you today?
Hello. I feel like so corn is pollinating right now.
It is definitely pollinating. It's in corn baby making season. They're making
Yes.
they're making little kernels.
Yes. So I wake up to demon sperm memes and a baby with a fever and corn sperm everywhere.
Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds like a Monday.
How are you, CJ?
See, well, I'm having one of those mornings, where it's just like, well, this will just be better off as a bad memory. But not.
It's okay, CJ. So
I have
I would
dreams
like to
and hopes
confirm.
and goals.
Yeah, last week was a bad week.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was a pretty bad week.
So this Mental Health Monday is a hangover from the bad week that we had.
No.
Oh, I don't hangovers. So back to your controlling the weather.
Oh, you want to get in on this weather modification talk? All right.
Okay, so down in Minden, a town south of here that I went to school in, there is a hydro tomato plant, or was like they built a tomato plant for water, like whatever hydro farm tomato plant. That's what it was. Well, we live in Nebraska. We live in Tornado Alley. What happens in Tornado Alley? Hail. So what that happens to a building made of glass or plexiglass or whatever during a hailstorm? So they built a hail
plexiglass is breaking from hail.
It's like throwing rocks inside a glass house.
Okay.
You don't throw rocks inside your glass house. So they made a hail cannon, and what it was is this giant cannon. I mean, it was freaking huge, and anytime a thunderstorm came up, they would sound off this cannon, and it would shoot sound waves up into the storm, and it would disrupt the hail formation.
Yeah, no, that's some weather modification.
Yeah. So then this winter, last winter, whatever, one of these last winters where we've been getting the polar vortexes down here and more.
Oh, I remember the polar vortexes.
Yes.
You realize we're not that far away on this ball in space.
We aren't, but we're also the furthest apart we can get in our states. I'm in the southernmost part of my state. You're the northernmost part of your state.
True.
So
true.
We are literally on the cusp.
You're closer to Methlahoma than you are to Meth Dakota. You
forgot Kansas. Everybody forgets how terrible Kansas is.
No. You're still closer to. You're still closer. But I know there's Kansas. I'm just saying you're close. You're closer to. You're closer to Methlahoma than you are to Meth Dakota.
I mean,
because you'd still have to drive all of Nebraska, all of South Dakota.
To get to, yeah. It would take me, yeah. If you lived on the northernmost part of Oklahoma.
12 miles away from, I'm 12 miles away from North Dakota. So.
My sister's in North Dakota.
I might as well just live in North Dakota. I'm that close to North Dakota. The laws are, you're a little more free in North Dakota than you are in.
Actually, that's the truth, though.
Mm-hmm. And they're both
my mom went to law school.
No,
my mom went to law school in North Dakota.
Okay.
So I know everything she does.
Yeah, no.
Mostly. She just took the bar.
Which means you passed,
the bar.
right?
I did not. I only studied what she's like, hey, you need to know this. This is important for your life. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks for giving me all the tenant rights laws and everything that comes with that. Thanks. I know.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Mercedes.
I don't know what just happened.
You were glitching. Hey,
I know. I just saw that. I'm like, what's happening?
Mercedes, let's get away from weather modification. Let's talk about a subject you probably know a lot about: racism.
Oh, my least favorite subject, but my also favorite subject.
I know, and I figured that it would be a wheelhouse for you. So I watched this morning. I watched John Oliver's broadcast about history and racism, specifically in the U.S. and in our history about racism in the U.S. And a few things caught my eye about the whole racism thing. Now they've switched words to mean like, well, we're not going to straight up say black people. We're going to say we need to cut public housing. Don't say African Americans. Say we need to cut this tax program. You know, like they've turned it into some underhanded, weird double speak, exactly. And you know, I was sitting here saying that, you know, Thomas Jefferson was a rapist slave owner long before it was cool and hip and woke to say so. You know, I've been saying George Washington was not the amazing human being that you know. It's like John Oliver said. It's like Republicans would like to think that Jesus and Abe Lincoln would get along. You know, they like to think that Donald Trump and George Washington would salute Donald Trump and be like, "Good job, man. You've taken America to the next level."
It's not even just it's
racism.
Dangerous to take history. It's dangerous to take history out of context.
It is. It really, truly is. And
that's what the root of it is. It's you're taking it out of context to fit your agenda to form the narrative in which you want the masses to follow, and it's dangerous.
Oh no! See, I want truth in history, and I'm not afraid of truth.
All of it. I want to know all the dirty ditty, all the bad things, all the good things, every single detail. Personal journals. That's why I don't watch TV. I read all the time.
Check this out. So Adam had a guy on by the name of Walter Block. And Walter Block made the argument that if you truly do own yourself, if you have self-ownership, the thing that libertarians put first and foremost, 1.1, you own yourself. Like, hey, nobody can tell you don't own yourself. So if you truly do own yourself, then you can truly sell yourself into slavery. And therefore, voluntary slavery is real
indentured servitude.
Now, I have a story that and I'm glad that you were on
which
here.
Which is still technically legal in Nebraska.
So, I mean, well, I was actually going to have more time to actually pull it up, but there's a story here that I was going to get to that has cops that were giving out burgers or something or sandwiches at a rally or something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Now, well, I mean, again, it was there we go. It's Hayes County right here. So I mean, I might as well have this one start the day off with a little racism here. So. Hey,
it's fine. I hurt my finger today.
Oh, I hurt my thumb. I got a blister from playing guitar, and it's like this is the ultimate definition of first world problem. But it's the blister's right where my space bar goes, like my space bar thumb. So Hayes County law enforcement gives free barbecue plates to community. Okay, now I want you to really just hold on for just a brief moment on that one. So, what is your initial response to seeing something like that? You see that there's cops giving out free food.
My first question is, do they have a permit?
Oh yeah, no, they're law enforcement. They get away with it. Don't you worry.
That's my first thought is, are they following the law? Do they have a permit? If they're going to enforce it, they need to follow it.
Right. So they should definitely follow the law they enforce and would kill people over. But there was one particular spot, and I'm looking through the John Oliver the history last night, U.S. history thing, and one of the things he had brought up, and again, I wish I would have had more time to prepare this one clip, but he basically said, that it was basically along the premise of that they would give them, meals, and they were good slaves, and they'd have barbecues and or like sandwiches.
I mean, okay, so if you're gonna look at it, if you want me to be all super Rory feminist social justice warrior right now, if you want me to go to that,
I want you to be Mercedes. I don't want you to be anything other than that.
So I can see why people would say that's a little bit racist that they're giving out barbecue plates, because barbecue is associated with Southern things and stuff, and the police force, they said, were formed off of the slave catcher gangs that used to catch and get slaves that were runaways back. So if you know the history of slavery and racism and everything, that could be taken that way. But in the sake of moving forward and not poking open wounds, you can see they're trying to be nice and trying to do the right thing from what I've seen. If there's an underhanded motive to this, it wouldn't surprise me. But that's because
check this out. This is from last night's John Oliver's, and I'm going to preface this with Hayes County law enforcement gives free barbecue plates to communities. And now we're going to play this.
So yes, I can see how it's racist.
Downplay the horrors of slavery has marked how school children have learned about it ever since. A Georgia textbook from the 50s claimed the master often had a barbecue or a picnic for his slaves. Then they had a great frolic. And look, every excuse for slavery is shitty, but we gave them sandwiches sometimes has to be one of the shittiest.
All right.
That's what I mean is, like, if you're me, then you see how that can be racist, and it's a little like, but at the same time, they're trying to be nice. But if you go back into history and look at what's going on, they should have been in civilian clothes doing this. They shouldn't have been doing it as a law entity. I get what they're trying to do, but it kind of backfires.
So free barbecue plates to everybody, and then they frolicked, and they played, and
we are slaves to the state. I mean, I know this. They give us a stimulus check as soon as people start dying to keep us happy. You notice that?
Well, like I said, I draw that correlation between these two stories because of that point right there, Mercedes, that we are all slaves to the government, and here's the government giving out free. Hey, Mercedes, what was the theme for the Libertarian National Convention? There ain't no such thing as a free lunch.
Oh yeah, that. I'm Vermin Supreme Team, where we want to give everybody free ponies.
Oh, so free ponies and mandatory toothbrushing is one thing, but the actual theme of the Libertarian National Convention.
Yeah, there's no such thing as free lunch. Unless we truly live in a homogenistic commune. Hippies are going to take over the world, man.
Oh, God. These dirty hippies.
You're welcome.
But Mercedes, I'm somebody. There was a few things in here, and I thought, all right, Mercedes, you'd be a great person to have this talk with. So I don't honestly believe that in my life I've experienced white privilege. What would you say to me? And now half the internet hates me.
I'd say that this area of the country has a racist problem, but really it's a capitalist problem. So in this area, racism isn't racism, it's an ideology. It's the ideology of I'm better than you because I have this, or I'm better than you because I look like this, or I'm better than you because of this. Because we are not like the East Coast. We are not like the West Coast. We are the central part of the United States. And we have our own unique goddamn problems. Okay.
But I don't have white privilege, and I know that's going to piss off a few people.
But okay, and that's just it in this area, so it's not necessarily.
None of my
white
ancestors owned
privilege.
slaves. You can trace it back all the way through my family line. None of
It
us owned
just-
slaves.
Exactly, and that's what it is we
We're losing you, Mercedes. We're losing you on Mental Health Monday. There you are.
I'm gonna have to go downstairs. I don't know. I'm on my laptop, so I'm unreliable today. I'm unstable. It's Mental Health Monday.
Yeah, I'm saying we're losing you. Yeah, for
No.
sure.
Yeah, I just can't. No, in this area, because of the way that it was settled, most of the people that came out here were leaving racism. They're like, we're out. Fuck it. We don't want to fucking deal with it. It's bullshit. Bye. My family came out here right around or after the Civil War. I'm doing my ancestry tracing, and I'm trying to figure out when we started to come out here.
Okay.
But we settled.
Are you trying to figure out if you owe reparations or something, or?
I'm trying to figure out half my DNA because we don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
No.
know all my
I-
DNA. I can assure
Yeah,
you, there's no slave owner
I-
history in my DNA.
I'm an American. I am English and Irish and Dutch and Spanish and
But Mercedes,
whatever
isn't,
else.
but Mercedes, isn't it kind of odd that people would say because I'm white, I'm privileged, and not have that be
okay,
some
but
kind
how
of
about this?
semblance of racism on their own part?
How long has your family been in this area?
Since my great grandparents.
And they came out here during the expansion to settle?
No, yeah, I immigrated. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
So you do realize that the Trail of Tears was the largest genocide that ever happened, and happened
That had-
because listen. The U.S. government came through this area and exterminated and moved all of the indigenous people off of this land and moved them to Oklahoma on the Trail of Tears. And our
Yeah.
ancestors benefited from that because they were white, and the U.S. government said, "Here, come have this free land. We want you to move out
I
here."
respectfully
So, yes.
disagree with you on that.
Go talk to the reservations that are right in your state. You talk to the natives. You benefit because you live on the land that the government took from them.
Actually,
And you cannot.
again,
You
they
can't.
have a really stolen and conquered are two different words and have two different meanings. I know. Oh, did I just offend you, Mercedes? I didn't mean to. I just trying to tell you the truth. Yeah, no, losing sight
No.
wars, lose
You're right.
land.
No. Listen. Instead of being a land where immigrants could come and be as one, and instead of being in a land where we could settle and be coexisting with the natives, because that's what we did here, is there was the Teton Sioux were here in this area. They sold their land to the government because they saw what happened if you didn't sell your land to the government. So instead of fighting them like the other tribes that were in this area, they
And in
sold their
trust and
land
treaties.
for survival. So we
Well,
were on
see-
top of it. We
see,
bought land.
All
That
the
happens
land
for
that the
everybody.
federal government owns is held in trust to native tribes. Every bit of land that the federal government owns is held in trust to some tribe or another. Now,
Now
but this is that thing called
Now-
the United States government, and
we
they did
didn't
this.
pay them. We took it. We gave them poison blankets and put them on a trail and marched them to Oklahoma to a death
Mhm.
camp.
Yeah, where now they
And
have
no
half
one
of the state
knows-
without question from the Supreme Court of Oklahoma. Half the state is now a reservation.
Because that's a reformation, because they're
As it
afraid that the native population is going to raise up. So instead of giving everybody fair equal treatment, they're now backpedaling because the tribes have united and are pissed.
Yeah, no, as they should be. I ran
But
on
that's
the
what I mean is that's white privilege is our families safely settled here because the government already came through and killed all the brown people that lived here. That is white
I
privilege.
respectfully
Fundamental
disagree.
white privilege.
I
That's
respectfully
fine, you're white.
No,
It's white.
That's fine. I
Like,
respect.
go to a reservation and tell them you don't have white privilege, even though they live on a reservation, and that's all the land they have left after their families were murdered and their ancestry has been lost. Go tell them. Go to a reservation. You go to a reservation and you look at the treaty and say, I don't have white privilege, even though I live on the land your ancestors died on.
I have done told this to enough Indians in my life to know that I don't have to worry about whether or not they care if I have white privilege or not.
Because they're all on meth and they're beaten to the point where they don't care anymore. Their spirits have been broken.
No, I think that it's an interesting conversation to have, you know, like you know, you go back into the history of this country and it's founded on racism. It's founded on superiority of race. Native Americans believe that they were the superior race. There was native pride back in the day, and the white man was inferior and the black man was inferior. And the Asian man was inferior.
You always have this.
There are natives today that are more racist than I could ever imagine being, Mercedes.
What happens when your race is concentrated because it's been attacked over hundreds of years by a single race that wants to exterminate you?
Well, for the record, you're acting like I would be the one saying that we should exterminate other races. I don't believe
I'm saying, I said you as in generalized. Now you're just a snowflake.
Just wanted to clarify that it's not me, the white man on the screen, claiming that I'm not
the man. It's the man. The federal government took white privilege and white supremacy and fucking ran with it over millennia because our country is founded on the notion that not all men are created equal, because not all men were viewed as equal when the Constitution was written.
I agree that the 3/5 clause in the Constitution is a pretty big black eye to people saying that we're about equality and freedom and blah, blah, blah. I agree 1,000%.
So when you live in a country that's fundamentally based on white privilege, you benefit just from existing. And that's what people don't understand.
Yeah,
is that there are rules in America.
Whoa.
There are two sets of rules in America.
You're going to hold something that is beyond anyone's control.
I benefited from it.
I fundamentally disagree that I've benefited from my skin color.
Have you ever gone into a town full of white people and feared that you were going to get raped, kidnapped, or murdered?
I've never gone into any town and feared I'm going to get raped, killed, or murdered. I carry a gun.
So I carry a firearm, and I'm still afraid I'm going to have to actually use it because I am a small brown female. Not brown enough that people around here know. But I have friends that will not go with me to certain towns in Nebraska because of the racism there, because of the white population that's here. If you don't have any brown people, then you don't understand that there are two sets of rules.
You have to be a racist to call people racist.
Or you have to be raised by them and then break the cycle.
You have to be to the point where, well, Mercedes,
I don't have a race. I don't have a race. I am so interbred.
But if I say that, you know, I don't have a race, they're gonna go, no, you're a white man, and I go, well, who's identifying race? You, not me. Why do you say I have privilege in my race when I'm treated no differently than anybody else in the slavery of the government?
Because the government doesn't care about race, but they use people's beliefs against them. So just because you and I don't believe in race and we believe that everyone is created equally and that it doesn't matter what you are, the government is using the belief system of people to make that not a widespread idea.
So, listen, the government doesn't give a fuck what color your skin is. You are a slave.
No, they want us to fight each other.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing with the race. But until you understand,
I don't participate in race wars. I'm not participating in a race war. I'm not promoting a race war. I'm not promoting the government's agenda to divide us by race.
Neither am I. But until you understand that that's what they're trying to do, you won't understand how to get out.
Mercedes, if I went to Chaz Chop in Seattle, I lived in Washington for a good portion of my life. almost a third of it. And I don't fear the downtown streets of Seattle. Walked them many times. If I would have went into Chop Chaz, they would have tried to get me for reparations because I'm white. Isn't that the definition, the very definition of racism?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying brown people can't be racist. I'm saying that there are two sets of rules in America in which there are white people punishments and then there are brown people punishments. If you look at statistics, you see the way the government punishes people and the way that the population supports that and enables that. And until populations are aware of how the system has been set up, we will never get out of this system cycle.
Ooh,
we are stuck in a cycle. You're stuck in a hell loop.
And
we can't get out until everybody wakes up.
And respectfully, Mercedes, this is where the Republicans go, well, look at all these Democrat-run cities and low income and this, and they say all these euphemisms that we now identify as, just people being racist under the cover of, different wording.
And that's why you can't even be mad at, oh, hello, darling.
Hello.
Would you like to have the coffee in the conversation? Oh, cool. Oh.
Right in the ears. Right in the ears.
Oh, hello, sweetheart. So yeah.
Hi. Oh, good to go. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. It'd be hard to try it. How about I don't know.
You're the star of the show today.
Hold on, just.
Whoa, man. So. We'll let Mercedes. Oh, there we go. You're back.
They left. I get bombed a lot because.
Yeah, no, you're a politician and you're a mom, so it happens.
Welcome to the real America, people.
Yeah. So.
What politicians do.
Oh no! I lost my ears. How did that happen? Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you, today's the full moon.
It's a Monday. That's what I'm saying. This whole day's been off kilter. The whole morning started off bad.
It's a full moon, CJ.
It needs to be a mental health Monday. And it's a full moon, apparently.
Full moon.
And the weather's being controlled by government, and everybody in America. I'm writing a song, Mercedes, called Everyone's a Little Bit
I know.
Racist.
You showed me a little clip. Yes, it was great.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it so much.
So, I mean, it's an homage to another song that Adam sings constantly and butchers on his show. But it takes one line out of that because it's just a great premise to start the song off on. But, okay, so Mercedes, everyone's a little bit racist. Everyone's a little bit stupid. Everyone's a little bit sexist. Everyone's a little bit what? What else? What else is everybody? Because I'm going to have verses,
I know. Okay, so we have the racist, sexist,
homophobic. Everyone's.
I was just going to say homophobic.
Yeah, homophobic.
Authoritarian. Everybody's a little authoritarian.
Everyone's a little bit statist sometimes.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
And I'll make you the compromise statist. Like, all right, well, what are we really going to do about my roads, huh?
Honestly, though, the highway in my district sucks. And good segue because gosh darn it, I drove the back roads of my district yesterday because I live in the big town of my district, and the gravel roads in my district are phenomenal. Okay, our rural roads are taken care of. They are amazing. Our highway is shit.
Oh, yeah, and I wonder why that is, Mercedes. Why don't you tell us why the rural roads are better than the highway?
It's because all the farmers pay all the taxes. And that's
and you mean they're like, hey, if you want me to keep paying taxes, that road's going to be immaculate.
Yeah, I know. So that's where I'm going to go with. I'm going to go, hey. So I understand because I love me some good gravel roads. Are you freaking kidding me? We took mostly gravel to my mom's yesterday because we went to my mom's, not yesterday, Saturday. We got out. We needed fresh air. We needed to camp and be sick in the wild. Because that's what we like doing when we're sick.
Yeah, fresh air when you're sick is a really good thing to do.
So we packed up and we went to the river because my mom just bought a house on the river because she's graduated law school, and I guess that's what you do when you're having a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. They live in the country now, though. So it used to be a fowl farm and a grow house. It was operating. They had like goats and pheasants and quail and peacocks and everything. This place is great. So we took almost all the gravel on the whole way out. I could tell when we got out of my district because the quality of the roads shifted just a little bit. Like the ditches weren't as clean and the side pileup was a little bit like not as maintained. And then we took the highway coming back.
So Mercedes, what is the libertarian answer to roads? Is it privatizing them? Privatize your road? Let the city build the funds up? Voluntary
so what
option?
happened, how we do it in my town, because my town's really libertarian. We have a lot of independents in my city. A lot. Like my district is purple, if you look at it on the political map.
Okay.
So what we do in Kearney, we still have unpaved roads because in Kearney, the residents are responsible for paving the roads. Initial investment, creating the road, and then the city will maintain them after that. So if you want your road paved, you got to pay for it, and then the city will take care of it for you. But then the city like basically owns it then because then they put in a sidewalk and everything else. So
and now, so the government says it owns something, and then what happens?
So then there's that easement. So the government easement. So technically, I own to the middle of my alley in the back, in the middle of the street up front. But technically,
they stop you. Yeah,
the city owns it.
They stop you.
The city owns it to the sidewalk.
No, they will tell you this is your property, this is our property.
But it's not.
In front of
but you're gonna pay taxes on it, but it's not yours.
Oh,
we get it, but you go through it.
Right.
So, like in our roads and county, they keep us pretty good though. They treat us pretty good here.
I've got a new theory, Mercedes, I want to run by you. That kind of combines racism, property rights, and sovereignty, self-ownership. You know, things that we
sounds like the feudal system.
Sounds like the government. And I keep running on the premise on if we just eliminated the federal government and we got it down to the countries of 50 countries and 536 sovereign territories and returned all federal land to the Native Americans that are the
I'm down with that.
Right.
I mean, I understand why the federal government was created because I'm a libertarian, and I understand what our elders tried to do, and it was a beautiful plan that they tried to create for us, but it didn't work because
no. You don't get to go and say it was a beautiful plan by saying 3/5 of a person. But I understand. I understand. But what I'm saying is that 3/5 a person. And then they go, well, someday that they'll figure out that this is bad and we'll just change it on their own.
And that's where we're at right now is they being okay, as a parent, I understand all you want is to make sure that your children and their children and their children will be as happy and safe and productive as possible and never want to do anything. But what happens when the crazy people take over?
Well, Mercedes, you're running for office, so I mean, if you get elected, I'll let you know the answer on that day. It was a joke.
Oh my God!
It was a joke.
Yeah, so I am definitely probably not going to win.
No, Mercedes, listen. Win, lose, or draw, you run the respectable race. That's all you got to do. I mean,
that's all I'm doing.
I guarantee you, your opponent's not on a live broadcast right now, just freely talking to the community.
No, he's not. He's in Lincoln hiding in the Capitol still because I think the legislature is in session. I'm actually missing that for you because it's Mental Health Monday. And I usually only get the like right before lunch and then the afternoon session because they get cranky in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, that's when they want to go home and they're done dealing with the morning drama and all that. Yeah, it happens.
And it's just back to racism too. So Ernie Chambers is the longest running Nebraska state senator. He is the only black senator that we've not ever had. He's black. He's been on there forever. He's my hero. Honestly, he is the social justice warrior. If you want to look at it, like he is the one. In North Omaha. So, and if you know anything about Omaha right now, they really like to violate their constitutional rights. and there's been a racist problem there for a while. So, and that's why when I say you pull to one side, you get the other. Bernie Chambers is showing a very ugly side right now because he's so done. He's calling out the racist, and in doing so, is becoming one. And it's just
That's what I've been saying. You become the thing you hate, and it's evident all over this country that the ones that are screaming it's racism are the racist.
And that's what I've been watching, though. But they're trying to call it out because they've been a victim of it for so long that they realize that in order to fight it, they have to become what they hate. And then
I've never looked at somebody and gone, well, because of the color of your skin, I'm going to treat you differently.
I have not either. The only time I start to not like people is when they are spouting off that racist BS and they just won't even listen to reason. It doesn't matter who they are. If you're not going to listen and you believe the same ideology.
I mean, Mercedes, I went to the Gettysburg protest rally. Where Black Lives Matter was there, but there was not a black life in sight. Where the other side's being called racist, while it's like, no, the other side's just being racist. That's what they said. They're just over there being racist. And I'm like, have you gone over there? Have you talked to them? I mean, do you actually take the moment to get to know who your political ideology different is?
And here I am, just stuck in the middle with you.
Stuck in the middle with you. Yeah, on Mental Monday too. Yeah. So you know, like I said, Mercedes, I'm in the middle of you're a racist, CJ, because you go talk to racists. Well, they say that you're the racist, so now I'm a racist for going to talk to you. So apparently, both sides are going to say I'm racist if I agree with the other side. Like at some point,
that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
But you never let me get to my point though about the federal government and property rights and self-ownership. We are all slaves to a certain law, which I believe I do have another guest here backstage, and
just bring him on. Just let him join.
Yeah, we can just let him join if he wants. He just got to turn on the camera, so I can know he's ready to go. But you know, the thing is that you know, Mercedes, like property rights, if you're, ladies and gentlemen, before I get to go, ladies and gentlemen, from New York, one of the best people I've ever met, and the reason why I still say there are good cops out there, Mr. Mike Gilligan. How are you, sir?
Hello.
No good cops.
No, Mr. Gilligan, you can't say that. You can't say that after I give you that introduction.
Do I need to go get my donut now?
Okay.
Mercedes, this is Mike. Mike, this is Mercedes.
Hello, Michael. Nice to meet you formally, officially, virtually.
How are you?
I'm
not
dead yet.
I haven't talked to you in a while. I was on vacation for touring New York State with my girlfriend.
How was the tour?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little choppy if you're moving your phone.
That was good. No phone. It's my laptop.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah. No, I went to Thousand Islands, Niagara Falls, Cooperstown, and we got to see New York State. The red side of New York State.
You did the tour of the red side. Okay, gotcha. Why not go downtown New York and hang out in the old stomping ground?
No, I work there. I live there. I deal with it all the time. I had to get away from this place. I can't wait to get out of here.
Yeah, you're thinking about moving out of New York, or
it wasn't just my kids that was, here now. Yeah, probably Florida, Arizona, someplace, probably Florida.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, I've been to Florida twice now. I thought, okay, really humid, but still beautiful place to go. Pretty affordable if you can afford that lifestyle. But Mike, it's been a while since we've talked. So I mean, where are you at with where we're at in the current state of affairs? COVID, law enforcement, riots. I mean, there's a lot to choose from. What are your thoughts, sir?
You're breaking up.
Yeah, we're losing you too, Mike.
You're breaking up. I didn't get it.
I was saying, what are your current? Mike, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's weird. So I was asking you, what's your current take on where we're at in the country, with COVID, riots, I mean, this has been a hectic last, week here or so.
For me personally, I acknowledge the fact that COVID probably is a disease or a virus, but I believe there's a huge political component that's does what I say the government tries to do with everybody. It moves to control you and separate you from your property. That's all they're interested in doing, and they don't care what color you are. They don't care what affiliation you are. You could have been a cop, an FBI agent. You could have been anybody. If you go against the swamp, we're going to come after you.
And that's the truth, Mike. And Mercedes, this is what I was talking about when I was trying to get to my point between what the government's actually created is that we're all slaves to government. So arguing about, slavery from old is holding us back from discussing what Mike here's bringing up, and that's the slavery of now.
No, it's fraud.
Yeah.
Everything is based on fraud.
Yes, sir.
The religion of fraud, tricking people into believing certain things. We all grew up a lot of stuff. I think I briefly mentioned this to you. I'm studying with Payman Motahede. He's a libertarian. And I went to, I'm in a school, Freedom Law School, and I learned and researched all about the income tax. You want to talk about people in government getting over on the people? Income tax is how they've done it. And if you want to peacefully protest and redress grievances, forget about April 15th and just go to the movies and move on.
Well,
because there's no law requiring anybody to file taxes.
I've said this, Mike. Every time that's
just one area that I personally am.
Oh, okay. I think we're having a lag.
There's a whole program. There's a whole program. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I tried.
No, I appreciate it, Mike.
I figured I'd say hello and.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on.
You're quite the popular guy.
No, I would say it's infamous, sir. With all due respect, I appreciate the compliment, but infamous is the
You're breaking up big time.
Yeah, Mike, I think it's on your end though, sir. So.
It's that hurricane.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but I appreciate you coming on. Let's try again another time, Mike. Come on next time, and you got a free moment. All right, thanks, sir.
Got it.
Nice to meet you. Oh, bye. Hurricane?
No, that's Mike Gilligan from New York. Met him in Washington, D.C., 2016. Great guy, former NYPD officer, like 30 years on the force or something like that. Like, just real good guy to talk to. I think we're just having a connection issue. So, kind of like what you're having right now. And,
Am I having one too?
No, kind of. It's a little less than Mike's, but that's what Mike hopping in right there was my perfect definition of where I was trying to go with, is that we're all under this government of fraud, and we've all become slaves under a government of fraud. This is how they've done it. So why the media has us focusing on racism from 1770s to 1960s is so that we don't talk about the slavery of 2020, where it doesn't matter your skin color, it doesn't matter your geographical location, you are a slave regardless. And so the term is called capitis diminutia maxima. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, sounds pretty Roman, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's under Roman equity law, which is the foundation. of admiralty or admiralty law, which is in the Constitution, Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution. And when you talk about capitis diminutia maxima, you get it pretty interesting little search results here, but it actually has its basis on legal definition. And capitis diminutia, there's minima, maxima, and one other term, but it literally means diminishing a person's personality or status. A person may lose his personality or legal capacity either in whole or in part. There are 3 stages of losing a person's personality, namely capitis diminutia minima, consisting of the loss of a person's family relation alone. The right to liberty and citizenship are unaltered here. In the capitis diminutia minima, there is only minimal loss. Capitis diminutia media, there's the other one I missed, consists of the loss of a person's citizenship and family. Here, there is no loss of personal liberty. In capitis diminutia minima, there is a medium loss status, but capitis diminutia maxima is consisting of the loss of liberty, citizenship, and family. Here's a person's status is changed from freedom to bondage. In the capitis diminutia maxima, it is the highest loss of status. So we are under a interesting form of law. And Mike brings it up and calls it the religion of fraud. There was, and he had another phrase for it. Mike, if you're in the comments here, you can remind me of how you stated that it's a form of law that he calls it. I call it equity law. I think that's what
he called it too.
Yeah, I think he's got a different name for it though.
So. Speaking of that, you know the 5150 law in California that Britney Spears has been subjected to, right?
Wait. God dang it! What?
5150 laws in California that Britney Spears has been subjected to. Britney Spears is not her own person. Her parents, her dad is in charge of her entire life, and including raising their kids. Every time Britney goes on a mental health thing.
All right. So which one of these slave status is she under then, Mercedes?
The first one.
She lied. So consisting of loss of a person's family relations alone?
No, not citizenship. It's the status is changed from freedom to bondage. No, she has loss of personal liberty and family. Because her dad has her kids and she's not allowed to be around them because they don't think she's stable enough to have them, even though they've been medicating her whole life. So then I started going back and listening to some of Britney's songs back from right before she shaved her head, because you know what happens when people shave their head. They're crying for help. And she said that she shaved her head because she was tired of people touching her hair. And then you get into the fact that she was friends with, who has she been photographed with?
A 25-year-old woman leave behind 2 children and die. Have we learned nothing from Anna Nicole Smith? I know it's hard to see Britney Spears as a human being, but trust me, she is. She's a person. She's like you or I.
Sorry, Mercedes. Oh, jeez. Here, I'll just play this one for you here real quick.
Not you, guys. Yeah, save Britney! Save Britney!
That's you right now, Mercedes.
I know, but oh my God, though. If you look at the 5150 law and then you look at that slavery bondage and then you see that they criminalize mental health to take our rights away, then you're mental health money, save Britney! Just save her, okay? Just save Britney! Yeah, okay? I'm not that. She's feeling it. I'm just internet troll, but that's what I mean is but she sets the precedent in our generation where her dad used the state to take the power away from her. She's a very powerful person in come here, puppy, in Hollywood, and then you have all these sex scandals that are coming up, and then you know that she was around those people, and then you're like, it's Mental Health Monday, I need more coffee, where's my therapist? Help.
Oh, I hope you're not using me as a therapist at the moment. For the love of God, I need one. So So okay, so
No,
again,
I have my own.
so when I say the thing like we're all slaves and we're all under a different form of capitis demimucio, which is a loss of status and or liberty and freedom. So when I say these things, it's CJ, you're crazy, and it's like, yeah, man, I hear you that it sounds crazy, but when you're telling me, CJ, because of the color of your skin, you have privilege. I call you the racist. I honestly, I'm the one sitting here saying, hey, listen, slave. Listen, slave. We're both slaves. It doesn't matter the color of our skin when we're both slaves today. Well, no, CJ, I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. And you're like, but you're not. You're not free. So stop pretending to be and stop
I
trying
live in a
to
whole different America
like
where
you're
we know
slavery.
we ain't free, and that's what I need.
Stop treating me like my slavery is somehow different than your slavery, and your slavery and my slavery
Well,
are
but
the exact same things systemically.
This systemically, yes, but culturally, there are two different rules culturally, and
So let's go back to the let's go back to the slavery of old.
Well, no, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to Linda. Listen. We don't just have the government hating us. We have our own people hating us too. It's not just systemic. It's cultural. So when my friends and I walk down the street and then we have the other slaves trying to beat us up.
Listen, they just don't know they're slaves, Mercedes. That's all it is. They just don't know they're slaves. No, they don't know they're slaves.
They don't understand we're equal.
There's another.
They don't know we're equal.
There's another, equally slaves. They don't realize there's another part of that John Oliver racism clip that I thought was very relevant. That there was a woman reading. Here, check this out.
Watch this Alabama schoolteacher revisit her 4th grade textbook, No Alabama.
Some slaves were good workers and very obedient. Many took pride in what they did and loved their cabins and the plantation as if they actually owned them. Others were lazy, disobedient, and sometimes vicious. I wonder what kind of slave I would have been. I wonder if I would have been one of those lazy slaves who just were not willing to work for nothing, or disobedient because I just didn't want to be a slave.
Yeah, so check this out. I don't want to be a slave either, and I want all these things that the racists say we have: freedom and a government that works by, for, and of the people. I want all that stuff, Mercedes. I don't want all this the psychobabble bullshit of the benevolent government and all of us fighting amongst our skin-colored pigmentation and the melatonin component of our skin. I don't want that. What I'm trying to say is that when she said some slaves loved their slavery, they adapted to it. They took pride in it.
You're taking that out of context because that book was written by the Southern people. The reason why they taught it like that was so that it wouldn't.
Didn't let me finish my point.
It made it sound better than it was, and that's what they're trying to point out.
Right. The book makes it sound like it was like all hunky dory and hey, slavery wasn't that bad, guys. Like some actually enjoyed it and they took pride in their work. But that's what I'm trying to get at. Some slaves accept their slavery, and we live in 2020 where the vast majority of the people in this country have accepted their slavery to this government and think that their one little vote changes the government when it doesn't. And there's not a fucking proof that your one vote matters at all, ever in the recorded history of this country. If voting actually mattered, it would be illegal. So my point being that, here we are discussing a whole 28 minutes and 28 seconds of this guy telling us about old racism and old slavery when I'm telling you there's new slavery. and
shifted.
Yeah. So why doesn't John Oliver go live on his next Sunday show and go, well, technically, we're all slaves to this current government, regardless of if it's the blue team or the red team that's in charge. Why doesn't he tell the truth about history?
He won't do that because it won't get views. It won't be sensationalized. It doesn't fit the agenda that they're trying to push for freedom and liberty and the history, but it's still only from one side.
Right. I'm saying we're all slaves.
I mean,
what he's doing. Political affiliation, regardless of your gender, regardless of your sexual orientation or the color of your skin.
But that'll unify us. But that will bring us all together, and they don't want that right now. That doesn't fit their agenda. Because wars make money. So,
all right, so when you say they, who are they, Mercedes?
The government.
Okay, so the government wants us to be slaves.
And they want us to destroy our country because wars make money and our country's been struggling. So if they make a war in our own country and we burn it down and we have to rebuild it, who makes money?
The rich and the wealthy.
And then the government.
And that is where I will tell you, I've never been treated any differently because of my skin color. I've been treated a lot differently, more effectively against my economic status. And again, that plays more of a role in our lives than it does the color of our skin, because I can show you rich African American men who would laugh at me and say, this guy makes what he makes in a lifetime, I make in a month, and he's African American and he makes more money than I do in a lifetime.
It's the ideology that's fine better than you.
Right. It's a beautiful painted brush when you can go, yeah, you're racist because you're white. And it's like, no, you're racist. You're the racist because you're the one focusing on pigmentation of skin and the melatonin component of my skin color. Like, come on. I'm not the racist for saying we're all slaves regardless of these 5 factors. You're the racist for saying you have white privilege. No, I'm a slave just like you. And my skin color has no bearing on how this government will treat me when it comes down to my life, my liberty, or my pursuit of happiness. It has zero. It is a rail at best.
You know what, though? If you want to look at it from an abusive standpoint and from Stockholm syndrome, then that means that the government really does treat us all equal. We're all shit.
It's like that's what I've been saying for like years now. Years I've been saying.
Hey. You were in the military and you understand that it doesn't fucking matter. Government will treat you like shit.
I didn't treat anybody, and I repeat, anybody different, regardless of the country I was in. Listen, this is just me. The country I was in, the city, the town. I was the visitor. I was the guy that was there, an occupying force. I was the guy there, not permanently from there. I'm not there to be somebody that's like, I'm superior to you because of the melatonin component of my skin and treat me as such. It's a fucking far-fetched third rail notion for these modern day social justice warrior cuck liberals to be out on the streets telling me I've got privilege, when in all reality, the government will not treat me as if I have a privilege. It'll treat me like the equity slave that I am, and nothing more or less. And yes, will I say that some cities and towns are disproportionately affected in their equity slave statuses? Abso-fucking-lutely I will, because there's laws that are written like that. But again, I would go back to, well, we do still live in America. U-Haul is still open in almost every town in America. And really, voting with the movement of your body is most likely the safest option at this point.
Can't actually move anymore, though. They're using COVID to keep us prisoners in our own states.
It's like they found a way around that too. Oh, go figure. The government found a way to keep us into and we're getting down to the property rights of this. So if I look at like somebody like Adam. I look at somebody like Adam, who's got the foundation of the Garden of Freedom, Gardenia, the God Emperor King Adam Charles Kokesh the first. Like I listen to that and I go, man, if the government wanted to invade Gardenia, it's going to invade Gardenia. Like if the government wants to invade Abernathy Stan or CJville, It's gonna do so. I mean, you can claim your sovereignty, but the government doesn't give a fuck because you still claim to be a U.S. citizen. You still live within the geographical boundaries of this country. And so you can call it whatever you want. You're not going to be sovereign on your own land. As much as you'd love to believe so, the government can still invade you. And that's why I keep trying to say, like, the government invaded Iraq and killed women and children and men all over that place in Afghanistan and in other countries. And do you think that your little 10 acres of land or my little 4 acres of land is going to stop this overwhelming military force that already views me as a slave to begin with? There is no special treatment at all.
No, they will come for us, but I mean, guerrilla warfare is the best warfare.
No, I'm not saying that you can't use that time to like put in like booby traps and like, I mean, but then again, you say you got booby traps around the house and people start going like, whoa, you got kids living there.
I fucking don't. Okay, I thought about it, but then I couldn't figure out how I could detonate charges in a fashion that would do damage to my opponents and not fuck up my house because homeowners insurance does not cover wartime damages.
Yeah, no,
just so everybody knows. Okay, wait, PSA real quick. Homeowners of America, if we pop off, our houses will not be covered, and we're all too poor to build new ones. So unless we win, we're fine.
And then you still owe who for that property? And if you don't pay your property taxes, what happens?
Then the government takes my property, and then the bank gets mad, and then they sell it, and then they get all the money.
So do you actually own it?
No, I am a freaking pleb in a feudal system that is capitalistic America. Thank you.
And I debated. And when I debated this, Mercedes.
Are you offering?
Yeah, I got Cora one delayed.
Oh dang! You got a donut too? I don't have a cop story anymore.
Oh, I have 4 donuts.
Oh, it is Mental Health Monday, and you have 4 donuts for your comfort. Congratulations.
It's the full moon. Leave me alone. Be nice.
No. Hey, you live in. Which again, the whole premise of this show is Trump is fucked, and I didn't even get to any of my news stories at all.
No, so we got stuck on race. Let's forget race. Let's unite as the Americans we are to hate on our president for a second.
Okay, yeah, well, let's do that. But I'll let you walk down this with me today, Mercedes. Second stimulus check updates. Congress to resume talks on COVID-19 relief package. So
they've been dangling this carrot for months now.
Right. So the slow grinding negotiations on a huge COVID-19 relief bill are set to resume, but the path forward promises to be challenging. Both the Trump administration negotiating team and top Capitol Hill Democrats reported progress over the weekend and highlighted their differences. Ahead of Monday's talks, all sides predicted a long slog ahead despite the lapse of a $600 per week supplemental COVID-19 jobless benefit. Now, again, the reason why I brought this one up is that this is what the government says you equity slaves are worth a week. This is what the government says. All right, even when we cause you to lose your job, you're worth X amount of dollars per week. And now they want to lower that. Okay.
You do realize why we're slaves to the government right now, right?
Because our great-great-great-grandparents fucked up royally.
We borrowed trillions and trillions of dollars from China.
No.
And we got to pay back.
Our great-great-great-grandparents didn't kill the politicians that started this to begin with. That's why we're in this situation.
Okay, but now we're here.
Okay,
but now we're here. And then, so the government, oh my God, how are we supposed to pay back trillions of dollars to China?
Because we have a central banking system, a global central banking system, and they control monetary gains and debts and nations' wealth, and it has nothing to do with.
So, if we owe China trillions of dollars in debt and we can't pay it because America's broke, what happens?
Mercedes, if you come to me with the need for a loan, and I control everybody's money, and I give everybody $100, but let's say there's 1,000 people. I give 1,000, and that's the only amount of people left on Earth are 1,000 people, and I give them $100 each. I just gave out how much money?
Like $1 trillion.
A lot of money, right? Just work with me here now. Now, if I say now all of you owe me that plus 10%. Where does that 10% come
Yeah.
from, Mercedes?
Us, the same place that it came from. Money isn't real.
No, money's a fiat currency. It's not real. I agree. But the way that the banking system works is it works as if this is a marker, this is a lighter, this is a cell phone, and a dollar is still a dollar. They operate that way. Now, again, but the question is if I have all the money in circulation that belongs to me, where does that other 10% come from? If you're not going to be able to create new money because only I have the authority to create new money, but you still owe me that 10%. So instead, now your dollars are only worth that 10% gets taken from the value of your dollar. Inflation.
So our money is worthless.
It's worthless. Hey, yay.
Okay, so our money is worthless, and we owe China all this money
And
that
hey, you equity slaves
isn't
only
worth
get...
anything.
Yeah. And you equity slaves are lucky we're giving you $600 a week when we put your businesses out of business. You're getting $600 a week out of our free or out of our fake money, excuse
So
me.
at what point do they start taking land?
Ooh, see, Mercedes, you're 2 stories ahead of me. So debate
There you go.
begins with who's first in line for COVID-19 vaccinations.
You know
Oh,
what? You can go
yeah.
first. You can go first.
No.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll stay home a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'll let you jump off the cliff first. No bungee cord. Yeah, your idea. Go for it.
Yeah,
But
you want to test it? That's fine.
But here's the thing: when you go
And I'm
into
not anti-vax.
now, again,
Not anti-vax.
anti-vax moms are going to be the first ones to line up for Trump's new hydrochloroquine when they get COVID. Watch, and it's for sure. But here's what I wanted to pull away from this first story. Here is this first quote here. No, not everybody's going to like the answer, Dr. Francis Collins, director of the National Institute of Health, recently told one of the advisor groups the government asked to help decide. There will be many people who feel that they should have been at the top of the list. And I believe that's going to be anti-vaxxing Trump moms who are like, I hate vaccines, but when Trump says, give it to me, daddy, give it to me. And so,
Give it to me harder, Daddy.
which brings me to this gentleman who I'm going to wonder if you know who this is, Mercedes.
And I know who that is. That is a military dude. Actually, hold on. I have screenshots of him because he's important. He's really
important.
bigly important.
He's bigly gonna be hated.
Not Surgeon General, because he's black. The Surgeon General is black.
Well, he is Dr. Brett Goyer. I don't know how to say it, but he's about to be Trump's most hated person.
Goyer.
Goyer.
Is he mandating masks finally?
Trump's health official. Time to move on from hydrochloroquine. Top official
yeah, I saw that.
in the Trump administration's COVID-19 response effort says Sunday there's no evidence that hydrochloroquine is an effective treatment for the virus, despite President Donald Trump's continued promotion of the anti-malaria drug. In an interview with NBC's Meet the Press administration testing czar, Brett Goyer, I don't know how to say it, said he could not recommend hydroxychloroquine because trials do not show any benefit. Now listen, Donald J. Trump has stock in hydrochloroquine. So
yes, he does, boy.
At what point are you like, holy shit, the guy has a reason for this to be what he's pushing? So, but again, I point out something like this real quick, Mercedes, is a headline grabber while you enjoy your Monday mental health donut. The biggest monster is spreading, and it's not the coronavirus. Tuberculosis kills 1.5 million people each year. Lockdowns and supply chain disruptions threaten progress against the disease, as well as HIV and malaria. So the anti-malaria drug hydrochloroquine is now going to be taken from malaria. It's going to be taken from the actual people that need it. Mercedes, that's not a flattering picture when it freezes on you eating a donut. Just don't care. At this point, what do you got to lose? So again, the whole point to that is that, well, one, we have a president that has stock in the cure that they're advertising, the cure, and I say that with all preface appropriately, and also on top of that, there's no actual evidence that it's doing anything other than what I mean. Again, I don't have COVID. If you asked me if I had it and like, hey, you could die next week, what I might consider it with my doctor. I'm not in that spot, so I'm not gonna judge somebody who might be on their deathbed on what they put in their body to try to save their life. Okay, but we need to be honest and upfront by why is it being pushed the way it is. It's because we have a president that has stock in it, and make no mistake about it. So my point to that all being that you're the slave. Here's the vaccine for the thing we tell you to be afraid of today. Here is the mandates that are going to come out, and if you don't follow them, we're going to deal with you. And we have all different ways, and 1,000 different ways that we can kill you, take your property, take your life, your liberty, your pursuit of happiness. And then again, if you don't stand up for our magic sky cloth and play our special song, Fox News is going to get mad. And Grandpa sitting behind his chair, sitting there in the rocking chair, like, I'm a Vietnam veteran, damn it. I got pride in my country, damn it. Oh, they're disrespecting my flag. And it's like, but dude, this government is the flag you're telling me to support is a war criminal flag. And it's conducting war against the people of our country. Like, you're not going to have to see me like call it anything other than what it is, the battle, the war flag of the United States of America. It's waging war right now on the people of our country right now.
Yep, I turned mine upside down at the protest, and when I was done with that
They don't care if
of
it's
the
upside
protest,
down, Mercedes.
and that's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at is I took it down and I retired it. I'm only flying my state flag now because my federal government abandoned me.
Interesting. Now see, Mercedes.
I'm making a point.
Yeah, no, I don't fly the flag either. If I do fly a flag, it'll be the peace flag.
Sorry, I'm getting comfier because we're talking about America.
Yeah, you're cool. You're working at home from bed. Yeah.
I know. This pandemic horrible.
So Mercedes, like I said, it's one of those things where we go, okay, so if we're all slaves and they're doing this to us, well, what do you think's gonna happen when the election comes around? And this is a headline that's been popping up here, that I think is worthy of a discussion. The Republican National Convention in Charlotte will be closed to the press, according to Slate. Now, I'm not going to dive into this.
I saw that this morning.
No. Before you get too far into the thought of this, right? Look at this picture. Now, you saw the Libertarian National Convention. This is the Republican National Convention from Cleveland, Ohio, 2016. These people are celebrating their slavery. They are just that cognitively dissonant that they don't understand their own slavery. But it says it'll be closed to the press. Now, I want to know, like, if we said the LNC, if we said that the Libertarian National Convention would be closed to the press, the LNC would be going, what the? It's not. So I really want to make this before people get too far down the rabbit hole here, that the Republican National Committee disputes the GOP convention spokesperson's claim that the Trump re-nomination will be closed to the media. So that's a false claim. If you need a minute, Mercedes, I can always take it over here. So yeah, if you just, I don't know if you need a minute or not, but so my thought again is that here we are, we're about to go down to, well, which slave owner do you want? Do you want the blue slave owner or the red slave owner? And to me, it's just cognitively dissonant to say, well, at least this one, molests and rapes in private versus this one sniffing kids in public. It's a stupid argument to be making in today's modern America. People, the Trumpophiles, and hopefully once Mercedes gets back, the Trumpophiles out there they're going with this. And I mean, honestly,
it's going to shock you when you hear their excuses. And Mercedes, I can still hear you when you're ready to go. So I can't when you're unmuted. But Mercedes, the Trumpophiles are saying with this Ghislaine Maxwell, they are saying that, quote, Donald Trump was an informant for the government.
Yeah. So
he was an informant for the government, and they were just so happened to be recruiting girls out of Mar-a-Lago, and he was an informant. This is their literal talking point. Well, Donald J. Trump was an informant for the government while sex trafficking was happening out of Mar-a-Lago, and that's the reason why he kicked Epstein out. No, Donald Trump was not an informant. Donald Trump was a John. And I'm gonna stand by this until the end of time. That I'm pretty sure the big November surprise is going to be surprise. Here's Donald Trump having sex with kids.
So I want to just keep a little bit of faith in my actual government, not Donald Trump, but at the same time, like, what if? Because back when Donald Trump said that he was going to run, it surprised the hell out of me. Not because he hadn't said that he wanted to run for president in the past, but because
he was blackmailed into it.
I had this theory then that he was being blackmailed into running for president. There was no way in the fucking world this guy is going to come up on TV and say the things he's doing, not get in trouble for it, and then win the presidency. Like, I was like, there's no fucking way. He's got to be being blackmailed into it. And then I'm like, well, who can do that? I'm like, fuck, Russia can. And then I felt what's going on. I'm like, and then I heard what Obama was saying, and then I'm watching what's going on. And it's been a long
just for the record, Obama's been to Epstein's Island. Clinton's been to Epstein's Island.
And that's what I mean is,
I'm not going to claim that Trump has.
Wasn't
I don't have anything
of that. Drain the swamp.
Donald Trump could very well be part of the swamp, and
he is part of the swamp, but he's draining it because he got caught because he's dumb.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck you! If I'm going down, you're all going down with me."
He tried to do games on the global level with people who are far smarter than him, and they tried to use him because he's a useful idiot, but he's uncontrollable because he's a fucking idiot. He's entitled, privileged elitist.
What do you want me to tell you? You're wrong, Mercedes.
No, that's what I mean. Is that's what he is, and they used him. So
right,
what happens in November? I don't. I mean,
I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you say that, Mercedes. That's our next story. From NPR 2020 electoral map ratings, Trump slides. Biden advantage expands over 270 votes. This is what Mama Joe has done, and the Libertarian Party has done to the Electoral College map. Now, the yellow you see there means toss-up, not Libertarian, as much as I wish. It's likely Democrat, leaning Democrat, toss-up, leaning GOP, likely GOP. But this is what we've done. We've taken enough votes from the red team that the blue team is going to win. The theory of, well, if you don't vote for that guy is going to win is what's coming to fruition. And we are going to have a very publicly open pedophile for president, not a closeted one, a very open one. And
but, okay. The reason why Donald Trump isn't arrested right now is because he's in office. The moment he's not in office anymore, he is fucked.
Well, that's what they're saying. Listen, they're sitting on this stuff, Mercedes. They know.
I know. So what are they waiting for? What are they waiting for?
They can't indict a sitting president, and they're not even going to try to. So again,
they're just going to wait for the election, elect the other pedophile.
Yeah.
And then hope he dies in office? Like, is that why he doesn't have a running mate? Because he still has
Well, again, you know, she's so close that he can already smell her, Biden said.
If there's no president elected on November 3rd, it defaults back to the Speaker of the House.
No, that's the thing is it kind of gets a little messy here. So this very well could be decided on the floor of the House. Now, the reason why you don't see any now this is where I'm going to talk to my fellow libertarians, please. If I have a moment of your time. My fellow liberty lovers, this is the reason why Joe Jorgensen is not going to become president of the United States. We have enough votes to swing states, to make an impact on that. And this is why, there's a such thing as libertarians for Trump. Hell, there's Republicans for Biden. Of course there's going to be libertarians for Trump. There's, because you fall into this duopoly think of, well, if this guy doesn't win, that guy's going to win. But this right here is the reason why Mama Jo Jorgensen, despite being not a pedophile, despite being not a rapist, despite being a qualified lecturer at a prestigious university, and again, the challenge is still out there, $100 to anybody that can find a Mama Jo Jorgensen sexual assault allegation or impropriety allegation at all. Still $100 safe in my pocket. But yet I can literally Google the rape allegations and the sexual assault allegations of both the other two parties and go, but you don't see it reflecting on the map. Why don't you see it reflecting on the map here? This is what we have to change in order to become a libertarians in office. And you see your little Nebraska there. It's got 5 electoral votes, and one of them is leaning blue, or leaning Republican, but could start to become a toss-up in the future. These toss-ups are where libertarians are having the most impact. So what ends up happening is that your state goes through this point, and it's a point of suffrage, really, where you see California, it's hardcore blue. Well, you start taking your Republican vote and voting for, or your if let's say you don't like the Democrat, but you're living that the Democrat's going to win any state, you take what would be your Democrat vote, and now you're giving it to a libertarian or a Republican. Either way, like you're rebelling against the current state. Well, the Republican Party and the Republican Party and the Democrat Party are the same fucking party. And I keep having to say this, and nobody seems to understand it other than outside of a very small circle. And Republicans and Democrats certainly deny this. That how dare you say that my party is the Republican Party? No, you're both the party of the Socialist Party of America. You're just the red and blue wings of each side. You're the same party. You're just a differing faction, much like the Pragmatic Caucus, the Mises Caucus, the Guillotine Caucus. We're all different caucuses within the same party. The Democrat and Republican title you hold is nothing more than a caucus to the actual Socialist Party of America, which consists of the Democrat and Republican caucuses. And so again, I fundamentally this is how they've controlled the slave market. You think you're rebelling against the blue side of the government when really the red's like, oh yeah, no, we don't give a fuck, really, honestly. I mean, yeah.
We have the rebels in the middle.
Yeah.
No guys.
Now the Libertarian Party, Mercedes, the Libertarian
Party. It's the same problem.
No. We've never had a gold dot on the map. We've never had a libertarian. Well, we did have a libertarian elector in a few times. Well, I think it's like a few times in history. But again, the point being that until we change that map, we can bitch about all the problems about government, and we can run for office. But really, in all honesty, Mercedes, the old adage of if I don't vote for him, he's going to win is coming true. And here we are.
I know.
With what's going to be President Kid Sniffer versus President Rapes a Lot.
Okay, it all depends on who President Kid Sniffer's VP is then. Because we know we don't want Trump, and we know that the president is just a figurehead, so it's whoever is his second that we need to worry about too.
I want Jo Jorgensen. End of discussion.
I know. Actually, honestly, no, I can't. No, I won't even. It's not happening. I'm not even going to think about it. Nope.
What?
I could not have Jo Jorgensen run under a Democratic VP nomination spot.
Fuck that. Just for principle.
Nope, I can't even. I'm not even. That's dirty. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't
All
like
right.
it at all.
Well,
That is just her and
Mercedes,
Spice
and as always, Mental Health Mondays can go long, but I do have to get to going to Adam versus the man. So, any last parting words for us, Mercedes, on this lovely Mental Health Monday?
It's August 3rd, 2020. The election is November 3rd, 2020.
September, October, November.
I feel like I'm beating my head into the wall, but go vote.
Oh, good Lord. All right, Mercedes, let me see here. Just as always, I got to get
You're going to make me come up on the screen?
vote Mercedes.com.
Yeah.
You got to
It's
go
my
to
website.
votemercedes.com and help out Mercedes if you possibly can. Every little bit helps, obviously. And as you can see, this lovely countdown, 91 days, 14 hours, 33 minutes, and 37 seconds till we figure out whether or not we have President Rapes a Lot or President Sniffs a Lot. Gropes a lot. I don't know.
I'm
Either
going
way.
to be voting for my psychologist. My psychologist, who is also a president candidate, who's not my psychologist, but
Yep.
America
and
needs a
guess what?
psychologist,
I-
and that's my mental health
agree.
Monday take is America needs a psychologist.
Yep, and that's why we again are voting for Joe Jorgensen. So,
Yeah.
all right, as always, a pleasure to have you on
Have
this.
fun.
We will see you next time for coffee and a conversation.
Thanks for letting me take over.
Oh, yeah, as always. All right, Mercedes. All right, so that we kind of got through the headlines, not exactly the way I expected. Still great though, always fun. Thanks for Mike for coming on, Matt, Mercedes, Mike, Matt, and Mercedes. All of you with M's today. I don't know. What a day. All right, I got to get to Adam versus the Man. We're launching on adamversustheman.com, Patreon only today. Still got to get with Adam and Jim today about a few things. Got a half hour till the show. Have a good day or don't. The choice is always yours. Oh, why did it must be a Monday. We'll see you later.
Welcome to Coffee and a